my god, hey! What's up guys? Welcome back to my YouTube video. I'm not gonna lie, I was gonna have a shower, wash my hair and not get glam but look somewhat presentable before filming this. However, let's just say I can't be arsed. So today, whoa! Oh my goodness! Hello! We're joined by Pumbaa again. Hello. So today I am filming another little chat with me video because you guys really liked the last one that I posted. So thank you very much to anyone who reached out and said that they enjoyed it because it really means a lot. The feedback is always taken on board. So I'm here with a Q&A today. I posted on my Instagram story about comp prep, comp life, all of that stuff. Okay, we've got to move. I will start by just like giving like a little backstory. So if you don't know, I competed for the first time ever in November 2023 in the WBFF, which then also turned into FMG. Competed in 2023, I competed in fitness and I competed in bikini. I was lucky enough to place third in fitness, which was a freaking dream come true.
I'm shaking so much. Oh my god, what the heck? I got done.
If you don't know, the reason why, or one of the reasons why I got into the bodybuilding industry is because of the theme wear. It literally screams my name. Wearing my big wings on stage was an absolute moment of mine, which I will adore for the rest of my life. But yeah, I came third in the fitness category and then I placed 8th in bikini. So for my first ever show, I did really freaking well. And then I decided to back it up and go again in April, which I was aiming to place higher. Of course, I'm not gonna lie. I did want to come first. I did want to win. I go in stuff to win stuff. I don't just do things for the sake of doing it. That's just the way that I see stuff. What are you doing? Are you humping your lammy? So of course I went into the April show going back to back in all intentions of winning my show. However, it didn't all happen, but that's okay. I'm not mad at all. I was still very happy with my placings. So I did another crossover. I competed in bikini and then the bikini athletic category. So I did want to aim for that fitness conditioning that I brought to my first show in November. However, going back to back, my body just didn't respond the way that it did and I ended up being better suited to the bikini category. So I really wanted to do well in the bikini athletic category. However, it didn't turn out that way, but that's okay. In my second ever show, I came 4th in bikini, which is an improvement on my first show. And then I came 8th in the bikini athletic category. So before I dive into the questions, I want to say like the reason behind why I decided to compete in the first place was I really wanted to put all my focus and all my energy into one thing. So I've always played quite a lot of sport throughout my life. I've done gymnastics growing up. I did gymnastics for 8 years. I have played OzTag since I was probably 12 years old, maybe even a bit younger. Same with netball. And I've only just finished up like playing that sort of sport literally in the last 2 years when I actually started doing my bodybuilding prep. And the only reason I stopped playing is literally because I didn't want to get injured and have that as a little, yeah. I've always done quite a lot of sport. I've tried everything in between as well. So I've always been very active, but I've always done a lot of team sports as well. So for me, I really wanted to focus on every single thing that I could control. Like I love being a part of team sports and stuff like that. But in terms of like, obviously on the day you can't control where you place and how well you do, but you can control every single moment up until that point. So for me, it was all about just putting my sole focus into one thing, becoming the best version of me. I just wanted to control absolutely everything and I did. So I'm really proud of myself for doing that. And that's pretty much the reason behind why I wanted to compete. And I want to be the best at something. I want to be my best at something. So that's my little reasoning behind competing. And a few other things, but that's the main one. Okay, so now diving into some questions. Top tips, any lessons learned that you adapted from your first show to your second? So lessons, to be honest, the first show for me was just like, it felt like a breeze. Of course it was hard, like it wasn't easy, but for me, like I nailed absolutely everything. I started in a really good spot. Like my calories got really high. They were just under 3,000 calories. So I started off in a very good place. I was training hard. I already had like everything in place, and that would be a very big top tip from me, and I'm sure any other competitor. Make sure you have your solid foundations. Make sure you have your routine down pat. Like I'm talking like make sure that you already know how to meal prep and cook and do all of that sort of stuff, because that is a massive part of planning for success when it does come time to prep. Make sure you know how to plan your meals. Make sure you know how to organize your schedule. If you do work like 9 to 5 or you do work shift work and stuff like that, make sure you already know that you're committed to your nutrition, and make sure you know that you're committed to your training and doing a lot of other things, because during prep, like for me, I work part-time. So I have part-time work, and then it's like, okay, the rest of the day is focused for prep. So make sure that you know how to manage your time. Some stuff that I learned personally going back-to-back preps was my first prep, although it was easy for me because I was just focusing on that one thing, and my second prep, I sort of had started to focus a little bit more on business. I was working a little bit more, like not too much, but I did have some other focuses already creeping in, wedding planning, that sort of stuff. One of my biggest things that I learned was don't stress. Like it's very hard to say, or it's easy to say don't stress, but I was stressed all the time. Like I was constantly thinking like, what's in my next meal? What am I doing next? What's on the menu tomorrow? When do I have to go do my groceries? Oh my God, I've got to do my training session. And although I already knew that I was going to do all of those things anyway, it was literally just that like, oh my God, I have to do this now. I have to do this now. I have to do this now. Like everything was so ingrained on like prep. And then in my second show, it was a bit hard to find that balance because my brain wasn't switched to I am in prep mode. Like I am not thinking about anything else, but it was nice to consider it more of a lifestyle. So I don't know, it sort of like contradicts itself because I really wanted to be like tunnel vision, prep, but I also had just come out of literally my whole year was focused on one thing. And then going into my second prep, it was like, you're already gonna do all of these things, so let's just make it more of like, you just do this sort of stuff anyway. I don't know if that makes sense. It makes sense to me. One other tip and one other thing that I learned like back to back, my first show, I was very fatigued towards the end. However, my second show, I definitely prioritized my recovery a lot more. And if I could do my first prep again with the recovery that I was doing in my second prep, I probably would not have been as fatigued and as tired and drained as I was. I was running off excitement in my first prep. So even though I knew that I was like moving slower, talking slower and, you know, not having as much energy, because I was so excited, I was just running on adrenaline. Whereas the second show, recovery plays a massive role in what you're doing, and not just in bodybuilding, like in any type of sport. Like make sure you prioritize your recovery. If you've got the money to go and get massages and stuff like that, definitely go and do it because it works wonders. What strategies did you use when trying to avoid comparing yourself to other competitors? Don't scroll on social media. No, seriously. My first prep, I don't think I really focused on many other people. Like, of course, I was like interested to see who was competing, who's doing what, you know, how other people's preps are going. And it's exciting watching other people's journeys as well because you can relate to them and like, you know what they're going through and stuff as well. So it's definitely good to have those connections and be looking at what other people are doing. However, it can work the other way. So in my second prep, when everything, you know, when my scale weight wasn't moving too much, when I didn't feel like I was going to be ready, I did fall into that comparison trap a little bit. And I tried to just stop following people, like not so much unfollowing them, but like mute people's stories. You don't have to watch every single person's thing. So I would definitely say a big one is either unfollow or mute other people. And just like, it's hard to say like, don't compare yourself to other people. But my first prep, when I wasn't comparing myself to other people, I was so just focused on what I'm doing. And when you fall into the comparison trap, like just remember, you can't control what other people are doing, but you can control what you're doing. And just control what you can control. And I can tell you that your confidence will freaking skyrocket and you will not need to compare yourself to other people. I did get a couple of questions asking when I'm competing next or if I'd like to compete again. Look, right now, I could not think of anything worse than going back into a deficit. I can't think about going into a deficit again, especially going back to back. I am like, nope, I am getting my calories back to about 3,000 because there is no freaking way that I'm going back to back and dropping my calories as low as they were. To be fair, they weren't that low, but you know, it's triggering me. It really is. I am aiming for 2026. But like I said, again, right now, my focus is building up my calories. Although 2026 is in my mind, it's like, it's so far away that I'm like, let's just enjoy life and let's not go back into prep. Because I know how I am. My brain is like, as soon as I've got my heart and soul on something, I'm all in. But short answer, 2026. I really need some time to grow and build, and that's what I'm focusing on right now. Building up my calories, you know, just building up my mindset again, making sure I'm coming out of that deficit and making sure my hormones and everything are upregulating. I really want to focus on like more of like a health phase right now. I was in a deficit for a very long time and my body's feeling fatigued. Fun fact, I've actually never had a blood test. It makes me cringe thinking about it. However, I really want to do a couple of health things and have a look at like where all my hormones are and all of that sort of stuff. So I'm trying to work up the courage to go and get one done, and I'll film a video on that if I do it, but you can see that I'm very uncomfortable talking about it right now. So anyways, a lot of focus on health and just getting back to a healthy amount of calories, you know, trying to work out my new training routine because I haven't played sport since I started. So coming into my first prep, I was very, very, very active, and now coming out of this second prep, I'm training 4 days a week. I'm not doing any cardio, so my energy output has dropped dramatically. So for me, I'm just trying to find a new little routine, a new little workout program and things that are going to work for me going forward. Also with that goal in mind of building muscle for 2026. So following on from that question, when you compete again, will you aim for bikini or bikini athletic, even though they mean different conditionings? So it was very hard for me post-show because I was aiming for that bikini athletic package. However, on the day, I did definitely bring more of a bikini package, which totally happy with my placings either way. You can definitely see the clear definition of what they're looking for in both categories. For me personally, I was very confused and I had a chat to my coaches and I said, maybe I am best suited to bikini because I have placed 8th in my first show and now I've improved and placed 4th, so maybe let's just bring a fuck off package to bikini next time. They both actually said it's very interesting that you say that because they feel like I'd have to detrain my upper body, which I definitely don't want to do. I already have quite a solid upper body and I really love training upper body over legs. Upper body any day of the week. So one, I don't want to detrain my upper body and I really need my lower body to catch up to my upper body. So I much preferred my first package over my second package after a few months have gone by and I've compared photos and stuff like that. I definitely preferred my first package, and I think if I was to bring my November package to the bikini athletic category, then I think I would definitely place a lot better and I would definitely suit that category much more. So to answer your question, bikini athletic all the way, baby. Bikini athletic, girl, here we come. Next question. Would you ever consider another federation while you're still an amateur? Maybe. Next question. How much did it cost you to compete? Girl, if I was to give you a number, I don't know if my wedding would be going ahead. It's expensive, let me tell you that. Let's just say that I'm not very good at budgeting either. So if you're not good with money and you're like me, make sure you over budget. Make sure you have more money than you expect. Initially, I had saved up about 10 grand because I knew that was expensive. And let's just say that went pretty quick. Then I did a back-to-back show and I went over my budget both times. So yeah, it's expensive. Make sure you save your money. To be honest though, like breaking down the costs, for me, when you're going into something like this and you know that it is costly, you know that it is expensive, and I'm not just talking about like your money, like I'm talking about your time as well. Like it does cost you, you know, a lot of time, not just money to be able to do a prep. But if you're like me, I started posing in February, and then I didn't compete until November. So I was posing like not every week by then, but you know, I had a few lessons on and off, you know, for a couple of months before I actually got real into it. So it just really depends on like how much money you want to invest into what you're doing and how competitive you want to be. Like I started posing really freaking early, and I didn't really know like how many posing lessons that I was going to do. Even leading up to my second show, I budgeted for that sort of stuff because I was like, okay, sweet, I already know how to pose. Worst comes to worst, I do my same routine, whatever. You don't ever want to bring like the same package or the same routine, but at least I had that to fall back on if I didn't want to spend the money. However, I budgeted for, I think, 6 lessons. And just when you're that deep in prep and you want to do well, sometimes those things just go out the window and you're just like, nah, I'm going to another class. Nah, I'm gonna go because I need to be accountable to do it rather than posing at home. So that sort of stuff, like you have to weigh up sometimes, like, is it worth spending the extra money doing it? Is it worth spending the extra money on the massage? Is it worth going to have a sauna and pay for that recovery session? Like, you know, you have to pay for your coaching as well, finding a good coach, all those types of things, they all come into play. I know that like you don't necessarily eat a lot of calories when you're on prep, but sometimes as well, like even looking at groceries, they can be more expensive because you're getting better quality foods as well. So honestly, like even though comp is expensive, there is little things that you can save on. But if you're like me, make sure you do have a base already and be able to add a little bit on top of that if you can. But in saying that, you can also save money in a lot of places. Like I actually trialed hair extensions the first time that I was going to compete, and I trialed them like in the middle of the year because I wasn't actually sure if I liked them. I have never had them before. I'm not a very high maintenance person. I don't get my lashes done or anything like that. Like I'm not very high maintenance, so that sort of stuff, I was like, let's like test some of this stuff out before I actually do it and commit to it. Hair extensions, like you don't need them if you don't have them. You can buy secondhand bikinis if you don't want to create one, because they start, your couture bikinis can start, you know, from like $1,200 to $1,600, or that can be like your little price range, and prices are only increasing these days, unfortunately. I think I bought both pairs of my shoes like when they were on sale, or go and find discount codes. Like there's so many things that you can save on. There's a few little tips, I guess. Ooh, we've got a little juicy question. So do you plan to stay natural? Yes, I do. Now, I don't have a problem with anyone that does take performance enhancing drugs or anything like that. But I just think like if you haven't been training for so long and it's your first show, like put the time and effort into actually building your body first. There is no need for a bikini competitor to be taking XYZ, or just because their coach said so, or just because the girl next door is doing it. Like spend time actually building up your body first. Think about like the health risks attached to it as well. I don't know a lot about PEDs, but all I know is I am not really interested in taking them. However, I don't have a problem with anyone who does. To be honest, no, I don't think it's necessary. So yes, I will be natural. I am a natural athlete, and to be honest, one thing that actually really drives me is the fact that I know that I am natural and I can look like this. Like what the fuck? I can do that natural. Like I had people asking my coach if I was on anything. No, I'm not. Man, hard work and dedication really fucking pays off. And if you think you need to take PEDs to be competitive and be the best, no, you don't. You definitely freaking don't. So if you don't want to do it, or if someone's pushing you to do it, or you're not sure, like just listen to yourself. You do not need PEDs to be competitive. Like I fucking did that natural, and I plan to fucking do it again and do it better. Next question. What was the most enjoyable thing about prep? Oh, this is a good one. I think for me, it's just like actually like showing up for yourself and seeing like what you can actually do, showing yourself how much you're actually capable of. Like when you tick those damn boxes every single day, when you nail your nutrition to a freaking T, when you get your steps in on the freaking daily, when you nail your training, like the amount of things that you can accomplish in a day and in a week, and even just like the planning, the routine, the organization, like I think just everything as a whole is just, it's mind-blowing. That doesn't really answer the question, but anyway, I'm so sorry. The most enjoyable thing about prep, I guess, was something that I actually learned along the way, was just learning to enjoy like the little things in life and just taking a step back. And even though you're so like go, 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 like just enjoying the little things in life, realizing that like food is fuel and appreciating every single meal. Like I used to sit outside and enjoy every single bite, enjoy every single flavor, going outside for a walk, enjoying like the sunshine, enjoying the nature, enjoying seeing people out and about. Like I think those little things were the most enjoyable thing about prep, because you're so focused and fixated on one thing and one goal. So starting to enjoy all of those little things along the way and appreciate them, that was probably the most enjoyable thing for me. Help for someone who is looking at competing for the first time, the costs, the day-to-days, etc. I'm nervous. First of all, do not be nervous. The only thing you should be nervous about is if you're a spender like me and you don't have enough funds in your account. Be nervous about that bank balance, baby, because it's going downhill real freaking quick. Day to day, like I said before, is just make sure that you have your routine. Make sure you do know how to plan and prep your meals. Make sure you have the time to do that. Make sure you do have those little foundations in place already. Like you don't have to know everything. I didn't know how to pose and all of that sort of stuff, but give yourself enough time. Like learn how to pose, practice your posing, like, but just make sure that it fits into what you're already doing. Like, are you already training 5 days a week? Can you already like go out for a walk and get steps in? Can you, go and do the groceries and meal prep, at the same time every single week or whatever? Another tip would also be like, make sure that you also know how to track your food. Make sure you've worked with a coach, or do your research first. Find a coach that actually cares. I've heard so many horror stories recently that there's like a lot of coaches out there that just give like the same meal plan to people and the same calories and the same protocols, and make sure you find a coach that actually cares. Make sure they're not just going to put you on stage and then once you're done. No, I'm sure like when you jump on coaching calls and stuff, like you've got that coach asking you like, oh, why do you want to do this? Why do you want to do that? Do your research a little bit. Reach out to people. Ask what their coaches are like. Ask what their protocols are like. All of that sort of stuff. Ask your coach questions like, what do you expect of this? Blah, 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 blah. Like, do your research. Find a really good coach, because that is a massive, massive, massive tip. There are so many competitors that struggle post-show or even in prep because their coaches are just giving them ridiculous amount of calories, ridiculous amount of protocols. Like, make sure that your coach has your best interest at heart as well, because that is super freaking important. They are going to see you at a very low state. You're going to want to trust them. You're going to want to be able to communicate with them. So that would be my biggest tip, is find a coach that actually cares. Work with them before you just jump into a prep. Like, you're not just going to start cutting for 16 weeks. Make sure you've like done a solid amount of work with them first, and then go into your cut or then go into your prep. This one's not really a comp question, but I thought it was pretty relevant right now. It says, are you on Feet Finder? No, but I am looking at making some more money. So send me a DM and let me know what you want, and I will name my price. Last question is, which bikini did you like most? This is a tough one. So I was actually thinking about this today. I feel like my second bikini was definitely more me. It was screaming me. However, the blue one, the first one, it just holds a very special place in my heart. So I don't know. I love them both, but for very different reasons. So I don't know. Maybe, I don't know. Well, I know I've been sitting here for a while, so this is going to be really hard to edit and probably a really long one again. So thank you so much if you have stuck around for this one, guys. I really do appreciate it. I appreciate you all for sending in your questions as well. If there's anything that I missed, or there's anything else that you want to know, reach out to me, flick me a DM, let me know anything you want to know. I'm happy to answer it, besides the exact number that I spent on my show. So I love creating these videos for you guys, so please don't forget to like and comment, share it if you want. Subscribe. I don't know. I'm still working out how to do this outro, so do all the things that you do on YouTube, because I don't even know. Anyways, thanks for watching. I will see you in the next one. Be bright, be bold, be you. Bye. I'm gonna go wash my hair now.